Hello, I'm Brigantia Blackbird of Blackbird's Brew. Happy Saturday and welcome back to Wicca 101. Let's talk about consecrating our altar tools. So what does consecration mean? To consecrate is to make something sacred, to make it holy, and to devote it to spiritual use and or to devote it to a deity. Now, because we use our tools to conduct rituals to honor our gods, the seasons, the moons, and to perform magic, it's obvious why it's strongly advised to properly consecrate our tools. So before we get into the how, I want to cover a few grace notes ahead of time. First, you don't have to consecrate all your tools at once if you don't want to, or if you can't carve out enough time to do so in the course of one ritual. Second thing is it is not necessary for you to wait until you have gathered all the tools you want to have before performing a consecration. You can do this as you collect them. Work with what you have. Most people build up their magical bits and bobs pretty gradually, so this is a normal thing to do. Third, ensure that the tools you are consecrating are physically clean before you begin the ritual. The same goes for your altar and your ritual space, and honestly for yourself. Fourth, double check that you're not using anything during the consecration that is going to damage your tools. There are always alternatives if one thing is going to damage a particular material. You can do things different ways. Fifth, consecration is a very important step and it should be approached with reverence. This is a priestly act, so be sure you are in a suitable frame of mind before you begin. Now, on to methods. First, cast a circle, and I know we haven't covered circle casting yet. We'll be doing that in next week's class, but you begin by casting a circle, and now you have choices about how you actually perform the consecration. The easiest and most obvious thing to do is to sprinkle blessed salt water over the tool. However, this will damage some materials, so again, you have to be mindful and use what's appropriate for the tool. Another method is to pass the tool through incense and smoke. Generally speaking, I like to do a consecration of a tool that involves all four elements. For most things, I will use the blessed salt water representing the water and earth, and then also use the incense smoke representing fire and air, and that's my preferred method. But you could also rub herbs onto your tools as you are consecrating them. One thing that I would suggest is using a blend, perhaps of basil, rosemary, and thyme. Another option would be a blend of allspice, cinnamon, and star anise. You could also get essential oils of these herbs, and you could use them that way and blend them together. But be cautious that none of these oils actually damages the tool or your skin. Now, as you're doing this, you'll need to say a few words, and there are a lot of different variations of this, but say something to the effect of, I hereby dedicate this tool to my gods, to the service of those who share my spiritual path, and to the pursuit and practice of magic. Now, obviously, you're going to adjust the exact wording to suit yourself. Don't be afraid to edit. Even if you're using someone else's base ritual, don't be afraid to edit so that what you are saying during the ritual flows naturally. It is also important to speak clearly, with conviction and authority. You are acting as a priest in this moment. Remember that and conduct yourself accordingly. And then as a final measure, ask the elements, the gods, any guides you invited into the circle to witness this consecration and aid you as you hold true to walking your path with honor and integrity. Then you release the circle, you set your tools on their resting place on the altar or in a suitable container until you use them next. Some people do have a special chest where they hold their altar tools in between rituals. So a few final notes. Generally speaking, you will only need to consecrate your tools once. No, you don't need to worry about thinking that you're going to have to do this before each and every single ritual. No. Once the tool is consecrated, you're good to go. Now, that being said, some practitioners will periodically choose to reconsecrate their tools, and there are two major reasons for this. One, sometimes someone hasn't practiced in a while, and they want to affirm that they are renewing their commitment to walking the path. Another reason would be that they have experienced some major life changes. Maybe they moved to a completely different area, where they have no connection, and they want to. And this would be a way to help put in roots and get out all of their tools adjusted to the new environment. Or maybe there is a new life stage. They just got married, they just had a baby, they are joining, or they're forming a coven. Someone gained a patron deity. And sometimes it just feels right to reaffirm your oaths and the importance of your altar tools. Now, some people will tell you that it isn't necessary to go to the effort of consecrating altar tools. Obviously, I don't share that view, but I encourage you to listen to the other side of the argument and to form your own opinions. And this brings us to our homework for January 29th through February 4th. First, research specific consecration rituals. Compare and contrast at least 3 of them. Look for commonalities, look for what the differences are. Second, after listening to why some people think that consecration isn't necessary, so you'll need to be either watching videos on this topic or looking up articles. But after you do that, make a list of pros and cons about consecration and non-consecration to help walk your mind through the arguments, and then you can be in a better position to decide what you actually think about it. And then third, journal what you think of the idea of potentially walking the path of priesthood. I've been asking you to do this periodically through the class just because, unlike other forms of witchcraft and unlike simply being a theistic pagan, Wicca is about priesthood, and that comes specific obligations, responsibilities, and duties. And it's important to periodically check in with yourself. Is that what you actually want? Is that what you're hoping to get out of your spirituality? Is that what you want out of your spirituality? So don't shy away from contemplations of this kind. And now that you've had time to think about just one of the duties involved with Wiccan priesthood, do you find that you're leaning towards this path or away from it? Be honest with yourself. Because the main thing is for you to discover a form of spirituality that you can practice that is actually going to help you. You're not having to impress anyone. If you're in the wrong place, the gods aren't going to be impressed with what you're doing. They want you to find where you belong, and I hope you want to find where you belong too. Maybe that'll be Wicca, maybe that'll be another form of witchcraft, maybe it'll be a specific theistic practicing pagan. Whatever that happens to be, make sure that you are moving in a direction that is proper for you. So I think that'll do it for this week. If you would like to discuss this class, I will be holding a voice chat at Blackbird's Brew on Discord Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m. Central Time, of course. Those chats have evolved into a little bit more of a free-form discussion, but if you would like to discuss the class, I would be absolutely thrilled to entertain anything you want to talk about, any questions you might have, concerns, anything of that nature. You would be very, very welcome. So if you would like to do that and you haven't joined Blackbird's Brew already, there will be a link below in the description where you can. Just click it and it'll take you right to the right place. In the meantime, of course, please subscribe to this channel, leave a comment, like the video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.